I wish you guys the best with your Yum Yum podcast.
Yum, yum.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Rachel.
How are you?
I'm feeling spiritually enlightened. How about yourself?
Not so much.
What do I need to teach you about the Scarback religion? Maybe that will help awaken you. See, long ago, there were some monks that went to fight the devil. What? No, Rachel, wake up. He's got his shirt off. Elvis takes his shirt off sometimes. Not all the time, surprisingly. Rachel, wake up. We're here to talk about Killjoys. Rachel's gone sleepy by, but you know what wakes her up, everyone? Rachel, it's time to explain the name of the podcast, Yum Yum Podcast. Why is it called that? What's going on here, Rachel? What are we here to do and who are we?
We're here to talk about something. Like, it's really good. It's, really fun. We do it, like, every week.
Yeah.
And, like, we watched it, and for some reason, you recorded us watching it.
You've been hit with a neuralizer, I see. Or an ice pick to the brain. Don't know which.
No. But I'm so excited to be here with you.
Oh no, I activated the wall right before we recorded this, so Rachel's in her giddy mode.
Huh?
Or as we call it, Yum
Killjoys!
Yum.
Killjoys! We're here to talk about Killjoys! And it's about these bounty hunters that are in space, but it's not really about the fact that they're bounty hunters anymore, which is kind of good and kind of bad, but there's lots of things happening, and it's really stressful because some of these characters have just gotten framed for a murder, which is insane, because it's just like, hey, this is the one guy that could have helped you, and now he's dead.
Now it's time for you to sing about how great it is to be a Westerlin.
But I'm not a Westerlin.
Nor is Pre. Didn't stop him.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true that they didn't do that. But I am a yumling. Because you decided to name our podcast after a insane line from Star Trek Discovery because you like being a little troll face.
No, that's not correct. You're misleading. You're misguiding. I know you're...
You don't like being a little troll face?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I like being a big troll face. Thank you. Don't pigeonhole me.
So
don't shrink down my masculinity and my
forget the modifier
manhood.
and just say troll face. You like
I call
troll
my
face.
manhood my yum.
No, you don't.
Well, that's the reaction you have for it. I'm now getting giddy, Rachel. It's all of the vapors from the wall just radiating into my brain.
No. That's not.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You are
Stop
a liar.
being so boring.
You're the one being a menace here because the yum yum wasn't just something that I liked. You liked the line too.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't say that I didn't like it.
You emphasizing me indicates that you did not have any agency in it.
No, I didn't have any agency over you deciding to call the podcast that. You'd made up your mind, and I couldn't convince you otherwise, and I knew that it was fucking pointless to try and bother. And now I have to explain what yum yum is.
That's the trade-off.
On a weekly basis.
Oh, you've had a little bit of a break. You haven't done it in a little bit.
Yeah, but then, it works out on average to be a weekly basis because we sometimes do multiple records in a week.
But, Rachel, the most important thing is that we are here today to talk about an episode of the Sci-Fi Channel series Killjoys. I've seen the series before. You have not. So you don't know where this is all going to go. You don't know. We're getting closer to the end of the season itself. Yes.
I'm
yes.
really losing track of this bit because you keep on successfully annoying me and I'm meant to be all affable.
And giddy.
Damn it.
What bit? Oh, wait, the wall, it's glitching. Oh no! I better go into an underground laboratory, which will have a like an earlier version of the wall in it, so I can get energy from that, some yum yum energy. Did you know it's all linked? But we are here today to talk about episode 8 of season 2 of Killjoys.
That you have for us, Ryan?
Well, do you remember the title?
Full Metal Monk.
And for everyone out there, if you want to know the summary, well, we don't use IMDb. They're too boring. I actually had a little read of IMDb's summary, and it's got a lot of information there.
But it's fine.
It's fine, but it doesn't even mention the thing that I want to go to immediately, which is Carl is back. Everyone's favorite character, Carl. Do you remember him? Well, he's back now, which means the company is up to something nefarious. Meanwhile, Dutch, Davin, and everyone's favorite monk, Alvis, have to go discover...
I love it when you do a meanwhile.
I do too. I love my meanwhiles because that's a good summary. But now I've lost the thread of what the meanwhile was. So that is Full Metal Monk. Now,
and Dutch and Davin go down and they find the super secret monks.
See, Rachel actually wrote the summary, so I'm glad. There's something very important, though, Rachel, that we love to keep track of. And since you're in a hysterical mood, since you're playing to the bits...
Bitch, please!
What was the amount of bitches dropped in this episode?
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
What?
I don't remember any bitches.
What? How could you forget? They refer to Anila as a hell bitch. Yeah, that's right. That's right, they do. They refer to a few bitches because there's 3 usages of bitch.
3?
Yeah, that's right. Rachel, there's 3 bitches here.
Wow. That's so cool.
Shut up. You know it's not. You know it's this thing where in this show, they've used bitch so many times now that it's lost its vigor, but somehow it loops back around again. It's like this vicious cycle where it's like, how many times can they do it? 3 times in this episode. And I will give it this, although I'm being harsh on the bitch, it did get my yum yum laugh of the episode as well.
I keep telling you, if you serve salty snacks, people will drink more. My wardrobe doesn't allow for snacks.
But you haven't lost any weight.
Skinny bitch better watch what she says. Her snacks are gonna turn to smacks.
What made me laugh this episode? It's a shit spa. That was fun. That was a good line. Where Dutch is going to talk to Johnny at, I think it was at the very start of the episode. And he's like, yeah, shit spa. Wouldn't recommend.
To get serious now, to focus in on the people that made this episode possible. We have some returning faces with the direction and the writing. So with direction-wise, they brought someone in that is a hard hitter for the show. And it shows in this episode as well because...
He did some very important episodes last season.
Yes, he did. So we have the returning director for this show, Paolo Barsman, who did very big episodes, as you said. Do you remember which ones he did last season?
Kiss Kiss Bye Bye.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Enemy Klein?
That's right.
Yeah, I got it right.
Kiss Kiss Bye Bye, Enemy Klein were the episodes. Woo! Very big ones. He's back. This is his only one for this season, but he will return in season 4 and 5. We talked about this a bit last time, but he does most of season 5. So they trust him a lot, and his direction was superb in this episode. This episode is a little bit more stripped back. There's obviously some big heightened stakes and things that are pushing the narrative forward, but A lot of it came down to just how effortless this was put together. And it was
Smooth.
yeah, it was smooth, and there was some style to it, and there was definitely an enjoyment from the performance side of this episode, because this episode requires a lot of the actors, and there was just a sense of airiness to their performances, even the more intense stuff with Dutch and Davin and Alvis with them. They're not having as much fun in their stuff, but there's still kind of this flowing nature to it. And the writer, who do we have for this one?
A guy with a really cool last name. Sean Raycroft.
Sounds like a supervillain. As mentioned, this is a returning writer. He gave us Wild Wild Westerly, the second episode of this season, an episode that did not make us particularly happy. It's probably been the most volatile episode we've had in terms of things. We did not love it. I think you were more of a fan of it than I was in the end, in which we were introduced to the wall in that episode as well, actually. So we see a lot of similar things in this, but executed in a better way, not only in terms of just direction, but a lot of the character stuff just lines up more. Although I wouldn't say this is a perfect episode in terms of like just getting into our general thoughts on this. I liked it, but there are some things holding it back from being great. It's good. It has, and the good parts that are good, I am really drawn to, but there are some things that I look at and I squint and I turn my head a bit and I go, why this? Or why is it done in this way? In this
It's
episode,
like, oh, that like certain choices stand out because they feel that little bit janky compared to the rest that feels more cohesive.
I see the wall has come down for you. You're getting much more level-headed, so you can tell us your honest, true thoughts on Full Metal Monk. Great title, as mentioned.
Yeah,
The trivia said that this title's an homage, perhaps, to Full Metal Jacket. Silly me, I thought it was a reference to Full Metal Alchemist, but what do I know?
I enjoyed this episode overall. It had so much stuff in it, it did make me wonder if it was a love letter written episode. I enjoyed how things played out in terms of like the quality of the script, but the fact that these people that I have grown to care about are in such fucked situations and damaging themselves and their relationships made me really angry.
There was something very different about this episode. It was something that leapt towards us as we were watching it, which is it's very meta.
Yes.
Very meta. It's having the characters comment, and
You
not
kept
only
on saying that it's like this character has read the script.
or they know the scripts of Killjoys and they know how their stories and character beats go, and
Yep.
they're frustrated with it because there was so many moments, especially from Davin, in which they would do something and then, they hang the lampshade on it by being like, hey, this is the thing that's happening right now. But it was more than that. There was like there was a surliness to this episode about the trappings and storytelling beats and character motions that Killjoys falls into very often.
Yeah.
Like, especially from Davin, where there's like this idea from like Davin throughout, where it's just like, oh, we get it, Dutch. You are the special chosen one of this narrative. You've got a mysterious background that we're going after, and yeah, there was many moments where it's like, oh, this dumb thing's gonna happen, and it's like they look to the camera and say, we know this is gonna happen, and isn't it a bit tired by now? And
then it happens anyway, and you're like it still makes sense, but I'm still annoyed a little bit.
Does it excuse it at all? To draw attention to it, to say we recognize this as a
Nah.
thing?
No, it doesn't succeed in that way for me. But I, I didn't have as much of a problem with it because we were commenting on it and making fun of it as it kept on happening. So I wasn't taking it as seriously as if we were just like watching it.
I do have an issue with it because I don't like it when shows or movies play up that joke to
Yeah.
to get away with
It's
just
like
doing the
they're
thing
trying
anyway.
to hide behind it.
Yeah.
And it makes me annoyed. And if they keep on doing it, I am going to be pissed.
It's one thing for us to notice the sloppier side of the show and critique it. It's another thing when the show recognizes it and instead of
Like, switch it up.
improving or critiquing it itself, it's making a joke about it, but then doing it anyway. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like I would rather that they say the thing and then do something different from it. But this episode, 9 times out of 10, would comment on it and then just do it anyway. And I hate that in
The
particular.
commentary worked better in that episode last season with the nanobots and the spooky ship.
A glitch in the system, yeah.
Yeah, like that worked better there. Because it did have parts of that where it's just like, oh.
And yeah, when it said it was going to go left, it went right instead.
Yes.
This episode doesn't have as many of those, and it makes it a little bit more infuriating when the characters get themselves into trouble.
I need to break that lock. Talk to Olin.
So this is where I choose between helping you or helping Johnny?
You know I'd never make you do that. Okay, except I kind of have to make you do that.
We open up this episode following up from the trap Johnny put himself in. And you know, there is this stuff about like this conversation between Dutch and Johnny is very palpable, but there is an annoyance from me as a viewer as Johnny is indignant to this, and it's like, what did you expect?
And I like, we skip straight to her knowing and she's there, and it's not super clear how she found out. It's just, it matters that she found out.
There is a great back and forth between them in there as well, where she says that you are important to me, you matter to me, because he talks about how you have this thing and Davin has that thing, and she's like, you are my thing. Why is that changing? And why can't you talk to me about it?
Yeah, and he doesn't, like, he has an explanation, but it's not a good enough reason.
No, it's piss poor.
And it's not a good enough reason for either of them, really. Like, Johnny tries to explain it away, and Dutch has this look like, yeah, you're in love with Porter, but why does that mean that you have to lie to me? Why does that mean that you have to put us all in danger?
He's a child, and it's emphasized when Davin talks about Johnny as well, where he says he lied to me too. He's in timeout.
Yes.
And that says it all. That says it all, and that's how they have to treat Johnny, because they've tried, especially Dutch this season, to treat him as a mature, level-headed, rational, communicative adult. And this is what he gets them in return.
It's a problem entirely of his own making, and if he had communicated better with Dutch, him and Porter wouldn't be in the position that they are at the end of this episode.
It could have been better. It could have been worse. We don't know, but that's where they're at. He has to get Potter to get him out. I mean, that's what Dutch organizes, because Potter has the power of being one of the 9. And it also is a great excuse to have Potter come to Old Town to investigate the happenings going on there. Why the wall is here. What is the motivation? We understand now what the wall has been used for in the past. How can we use that understanding to help us break away from what they're going to do, or what we think they're going to do?
It's interesting the way that has come together, because often that kind of miscommunication trope is a deal breaker for both of us. And it's teetering on the edge for me, because it makes sense, but it also feels convenient, and it's just like it's still going. Now they're under the effects of the wall. It feels a little bit more justified.
In what way?
Like the fact that he doesn't respond to Dutch's call, that they're stuck in Old Town, that they are so focused on each other that they're not looking beyond themselves and their relationship and what they want.
No. And Potter, once she enters the story too, she really takes the lead here. Johnny is supporting. He is there to help her. He is there to protect her. He is there to guide her. But Potter is playing multiple roles in this episode. She gives Jelko a dressing down, and she's trying to flex her power as like a regal member of one of the 9. And then later, she is back to Old Town Dr. Potter, where she's like stabbing people and taking their blood and doing medicine.
It's
and
just
science.
like now she's back on the moon. She's like back in the mode.
Yeah. What do you feel about that when it comes to her character? That we see her code switch so often and so effortlessly.
Yeah, it is part of what makes her unsettling in a way, is how adaptable she is and how flexible her morality is. Because it's like, oh, if I want something, it doesn't matter. Like, I need a blood sample. I don't need this guy's consent. I need the blood sample. That's what matters.
And we have to just track down the lead, because not only is there the worry of what will happen to Old Town, but she's staked her family's reputation on it. She's got one ally.
Time limit.
Yeah, she's got one ally that she needs to curry favor with.
With evidence.
With actual evidence of everything here. Because they believe that they're going to poison Old Town in some way. There's got to be something here. There's got to be some method of killing off the weak.
She uses a phrase.
It was like eugenics.
Something eugenics.
Yeah, it was science, like eugenics-based science. Eugenics evolution or something like that.
Yeah, they did it with... The company previously did it with animals. And she thinks that they're going to do it with the people of Old Town.
Kill off the weak and only the strong survive, and then we have prime breed. And they're going to do that with people. That's what she determines from all of this, and so they have to investigate what's the method they're going to kill off the weak with. Is it going to be poison? Is it going to be a weapon of some sort? What's it going to be?
Porter and Johnny may not have Dutch on side, but they do have familiar faces around, because Carl is back, baby, and our favorite Pre's here, and he gets to sing.
He does, and he gets to look fabulous, and he gets to bust some balls.
Glam.
Well, Pre's the key to this, because they're looking for what's the contaminated source. And Pre mentions food in some way, like he's snacking on food, and that gives them the eureka moment of like, oh, we should investigate food, because how has this town that's been walled up with no supplies given to it been able to survive? How are they eating?
They ran out of rat.
Yeah, how are they eating anything?
But then all of the food that Carl has is rat. I really did enjoy the joke that like he spits it out, not because it's rat, but because it has gluten in it.
Yuck, gluten. I love singing in this episode as the wall starts to affect everyone. He gets more giddy and he just gets more musical.
Yep.
That's a great detail. No, the thing that that's great as well is he asks about Sabine. He has this idea that Davin has whisked her away, and Johnny just deflects that so hard.
Yep.
Johnny just goes sidestepping that. It's like, yeah, that's what happened.
Because he
what are you
gonna
say?
To explain.
Oh yeah, Dutch shot her in the head, actually.
Or, but like, actually,
she was a level 6.
Yeah,
creep. That was using us all.
And my brother fucked the green goo out of her.
Actually, upstairs,
and that returned her morality, but she was losing it, so Dutch shot her in the head in the woods, but we don't know if that killed her or not, and if she's been taken back and it has been re-sixified or not.
Mentions because of how reality works, and it also is fleshed out too because of his background is this is a big prison. So there's always a corrupt guard or warden. That contraband always flows. There's always someone giving us something in a prison, and that's what's happening here, which then leads us to Carl, and we can talk about Carl properly because I mentioned him in the summary, and you've mentioned him. But for everyone who needs a proper reminder of Carl, who is he?
He was the guard that was in the prison that the wall fell down back in episode 1?
2. Wild Westerly, same writer.
2.
When the guy took the gas,
the
toxic gas, and this was the one guy who survived, the dumb prison guard guy. With the contamination suit and whatnot.
And I like the positioning of him, of he's trying to make a life outside of the company, but that's still the company using him.
He's a stooge, he's a pawn, he's a dummy. He thinks he's worked an angle, but they're working him. Because he had to survive. Everyone in Old Town was killing company people, and he was a company man, but now he's made himself a resource, and he's cornered a market here. But the thing about this character is he's such a jovial guy. You know he's not like a malicious, power-grabbing, corrupt official who's
It's not,
working.
I can turn a profit now.
No.
It's, I needed a job that wasn't going to get me killed. So this is what I'm doing now.
He has a big smile on his face and he says, it's a living. But little does he know the company is going to provide him with special rations that will be poisoned. That will be.
But they're actively providing them to everybody. They're not even contraband.
The plan sped up, I think, because of the events here.
Yeah. They want to know what the wall is for. Show them.
That's ahead of schedule, no? Do we have authority?
I'll worry about the schedule. You worry about me if you don't make this problem go away. Handle them. Activate the wall.
As you wish.
Del Sayers in this episode. For one scene, Del Sayers shows up to be like, I authorize you, Jelko, to turn on the wall so we can speed up this nefarious process. And he's like, are you sure? We should probably wait for permission. And she's like, fuck permission. I'm the best. Just do what I say. And he does, because he's a little sycophantic weasel.
Which is what she did with the genetic bomb as well, basically.
It was a bit more thought through with that, I guess.
Yeah, like it was the plan for that to go off at that point. But she's like, I gotta do it myself.
But it's also
Fuck the plans.
classic thing of her, though, is she is operating within a huge mega plan, but she's very impulsive and she just wants it now. They have this...
She wants her power because she does see it as hers. Like, that's my perception of her anyway, is that she sees all power as rightfully hers, and it's just correcting the universe so that it is hers.
What I want to know, too, is with Dulcea, it's been made abundantly clear that she's in league and taking orders from Klein. Is this still a part of his plan? Because he was the guy that like organized it so that Old Town got bombed in the first place. They put up this wall, and this technology is linked to him in some way.
Yeah.
And the town is filled with level 6s, which are also linked to him. So,
and it definitely is feeling like these two sides of the plot are converging.
the wall, the power of the wall is like, it's a technology that basically makes everyone happy and compliable and easy to herd, makes them sheep.
Yes.
And since it's activated, that means everyone's getting giddier and happier. Pri is singing all of the time.
They upped the dosage.
Yes, they cranked it up. And Johnny and Potter are in Old Town. They're trying to find the evidence, and they start to get the happy gigglies. And what was another fun thing of the episode was the way we got dispensed this information was slow and steady. So we got to see Johnny and Potter start to act stranger with each scene they were in, to a point where they're
going on?
Yeah. And because they're also in a romantic relationship, some of the weirdness that was happening was also being chalked up as, oh, they're just getting a bit too kissy in this moment.
Which we've seen them do. So it was like, you didn't immediately go, oh, that's what the wall does. It makes you high. It was like, oh, what? Is this weird or just or is it something? Is it just weird? Is it something weird? What's happening? What does this mean?
It's a testament to the cast, because you need really good actors to pull off this slow build, because it's not apparent immediately as soon as the wall is turned on, oh, this is what it is. Even down to seeing the royal and how people are getting more celebratory during it. They're getting more and more happy and dancing and drinking and singing. We've seen this in the show before, but with Potter and Johnny in particular, both of those actors, Sarah Power and Aaron Ashmore, they're in this scene together, and over the course of the scene or sequence of scenes, they are playing it pitch perfect. It gets to the right moment where you realize, oh, I know what's going on now.
And a part of what makes that really impressive to me is the fact that, like, logistically those scenes weren't probably recorded in that order. So for them to have that consistent ramping up scene to scene and understanding of, okay, this is the level that we're pitching it at, and this is where we're going to start and this is where we're going to end, and then to do that across the scenes and out of order makes me appreciate their performances, but also the director's skill in figuring that out as well, and hopefully working with them on that. That's my assumption, at least.
And we've had these check-ins, but it's good to have it now as well, because this episode hinges on it, which is how have you felt and how do you feel about the romance and sexual chemistry of the two characters? Because that is what this episode is really banking on, is you buy those two things enough, the romantic and the sexual,
Yes.
for the scene to work. Because if you don't buy that, you must look at this and go, well, obviously the sci-fi plot is affecting them. But I buy into both of those things enough that I wasn't really questioning it too much until she was shooting things off of his head. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, something's
like,
wrong.
Yeah.
And I remembered this
It's
plot,
like,
but I just was like,
this is weird. But it's like, it's weird and something's wrong in that moment. Is when the switch is fully flipped by that, I think. Even if you're like, this doesn't feel right before that. Because I was like, this is weird when she gets changed.
but she's been flirty and silly and fun before like that too.
But
Even in inappropriate moments.
for me, it was like, I was like, that seems a bit weird for Porter to do, because it's a sexist outfit that has been left behind. I feel like if she was her typical self, she would make a joke about putting it on and then say, no, I don't know what it's covered in.
I disagree. I think she would have put it on anyway. I think she's that much of a weird, sick freak.
All like that interpretation is very fair.
And I think it was sold too, because at the beginning she was so amused that her officers turned into this, and she was like grabbing one of the bras and playing with it. There was so much of that already there that when it built to that, it was a, what are you doing, Potter? But then I was like, classic Potter. That was my reaction. I was like, classic her. But their relationship, what do you think it is about it that works? What do you think it is? Because with any relationship in any show, there's always like those key things to it that makes it work or fail. And we've had so many over the course of our podcast where we can go like this, and this.
Something, an aspect of that I do want to bring up is how both of them have an immaturity while also very much being adults, and a flexibility to them, because it makes sense that these two characters, the way that they are, would be in love by this early stage of their relationship, and that they're both all in. Because we saw Porter get attached really quickly to Davin, and to be weirdly possessive while also pushing him away. And Johnny is so all in and giving her everything that it just kind of they're spiraling and intertwining together so quickly. Like, they're both falling hard and fast, even though like they've known each other for a long time, so it doesn't feel like unrealistically delivered.
Both of the characters too are going on a journey of self-discovery, because both of them, when we start the show, are in a very complacent place in their life, but then we see it shake up. Johnny and Dutch are a team. They work so well together. They know each other so well. And then Davin comes back into his life, and it turns everything upside down, but it makes him question, well, who am I? And with Potter, that is also a thing with her, where she was the exiled daughter of the Nine, the old town's doctor,
And
the drug
now-
addict, the thrill seeker, the one who sleeps with her patients because she likes broken people. But when she was faced with her withdrawals, we saw that really change for her. And then her relationship and interactions with Johnny, because he's going on a self-discovery journey, has helped her to go on one as well. Even when she was laughing hysterically, obviously because of the wall, about how much she's lost over the course of this show, really also puts into the forefront of your mind of she's lost so much, but she's also changed and gained so much over it. So for me, what I also think, other than the chemistry of the characters and the actors, is there is an enjoyment of seeing characters go on a journey of self-discovery, but go on one together, and to and to make that a part of their romance is really connective.
It makes sense that these two people who are struggling to find themselves have found themselves in another person.
Why am I laughing? Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. That's terrible.
Gallows humor. Those sane people survive insane times, and you, Eleanor about her sins, are sane and good. And that's why I love you.
Alvis has no tact. And yet, somehow it still surprises me when he is so blunt. Like, he says things the way that he thinks them. He doesn't really, make his ideas palatable to people a lot of the time. It's like you ask him a question, he will answer it. And yet, in this episode, I wanted to knee him in the stomach multiple times. But it started when we first see him. Because, we've got, Johnny and Porter stuff is happening in Old Town. And while that's going on, we have the Dutch and Davin side of things. So when they're like, okay, we need to go talk to Olin. We need the information.
We need Klein's memories. We need to know what they are.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this is all making sense. This is rolling along nicely. And then we get to the monastery.
Mm-hmm.
And
we learn that Olin tried to kill his brother.
Yeah.
He had some psychotic break.
Something's gone wrong. And Alvis just so bluntly being, he's broken. In front of Olin.
It doesn't matter. Olin's broken. I'm going to ask this now. I wanted to let you lay out all of that, and you said some stuff that really piques my interest. So, do you believe that bluntness, that forthcoming nature, is the character of Alvis, or how the actor delivers it? Or is it both? Because I think there's a disconnect there. I think he was. I don't feel like he was like this in season 1. I thought he was a lot more reserved, empathetic. The way he gave things, his console advice.
I feel like when he is in monk mode, when he is serving his community, he's much more empathetic and tries to communicate in that way. But when he's sort of removed from that, when he's with the Killjoys, he is much more blunt, he's much more direct, and he cuts to the bone of it, which I think is why there's a difference now. Because I feel like the first scene that we see him in, where he gets called God, he is very brash.
Really?
in that scene from my memory, but maybe it's not. Maybe
I
I'm
feel like he's cool, calm, and confident. He doesn't want a war. He wants a revolution.
Yeah, like he's like,
he knows
bam.
exactly what he wants. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, a part of it too is Alvis is here to say Olin has information. But he says it in this very blunt way where we both laughed. We both laughed hysterically because of the line delivery in particular was just so... It was so dry. Just, he's broken. It was just, I laughed, you laughed. It was funny. It's not supposed to be funny. I think that's something is why I'm asking.
We were laughing
is like,
at him.
Because I don't know if I agree that Alvis is the things that you described him as. When I think of his character, I look at him very differently, I think. But this episode, it's hard to deny what you're saying because it is so much like that. It is so aggressive with that stuff. And this almost feels like an echo of what they did in Shaft with Davin, where Davin's like being a super jerkwad prick for no real reason other than like it's a thing you can do.
But then in this episode,
and then it's Alvis in this episode doing that with Davin. Where Davin's trying to like
being jerks to each other.
No, I'm going to disagree. It's not even to each other. It's like in Shaft. It's one-sided. Davin's barely even being a jerk to him in this episode. But that's what made no.
Like, I'm thinking of some lines where it's just like Alvis is called out for being a jerk, and that comes across came across to me as Davin being a little jerky of like, yeah, if you're gonna shove me, I'll shove back.
I wish it felt more like that type of dynamic because to me it feels very one-sided in this. And yeah, Alvis, Alvis is a question mark to me still. I think I understand him less this season because he got ridiculed for not being a rebel leader enough, and yet after that he hasn't picked it back up again. No. He's just been kind of just...
He's like, I need to learn how to be...
I'm doing the lore stuff. He's like, I'm the guy who's doing the backstory stuff now, and I'm not really worried about the current stuff. Like, it actually does bother me that Alvis has no opinion, really, on the wall and on the oppression that's happening in Old Town. Like, he's more focused on, like, the green goo level 6 stuff, which I know is important, but with how we were introduced to him, honestly, look me in the face and tell me, with the character we met in season 1, are you surprised that he has not interacted or really had much of a thing with the company oppression of season 2?
Yeah, considering he was about to kill everybody in Spring Hill.
But is that the justification for why he's not involved now? Is because he became too bloodthirsty and he has to put his energy somewhere else to find himself?
I don't think it's that deep. I think he's on Dutch's side of the plot. Because he's on Dutch's side of the plot. And they haven't converged yet. So he's working on the Green Group 6 monk side of things.
They have great continuity in this show for the character stuff, especially. So it makes it stand out when it doesn't quite
gel.
Yeah, when it doesn't quite line up, when it doesn't quite track. Because even in this episode where they're dealing with the mythology, Dutch, they find another one of these weird cubes that Klein has left behind. This one doesn't work in the same way, and it's actually an elevator down to like basically the center of the planet or far down of Arkin. And they find this abandoned laboratory, which, makes sense from what we saw of Red 17. Like, even then this stuff makes sense. And then it lines up again further with what we heard about the 12 monks that went to go fight the devil, and only one of them came back. And that was the one that we found in the tunnels.
Yes.
They come down to this underground lab.
He's so excited when he's like, count them, Dad.
Yes. Count the 12 apostles, monks. And they find another monk in here, and he's being pacified by the wall. They have him locked. He's been locked up, and the wall's active, and he's been green gooed, so he's immortal.
I appreciated it for what it was doing, but I also found it annoying because this plot was more guilty of the lampshading that we were talking about earlier, of, oh, now this thing is going to happen, and then that thing happens. It was all very obvious, and even though it was well performed and the score worked really well, in particular, the emotional reaction for me wasn't there as much as I think that the show wanted it to be for me. Like when Dutch kills the last monk, I was just like, I think I meant to feel something about this.
It wasn't
But I
as
don't, because as soon as they found him, I was like, he's dead by the end of the episode. So when he is,
But even then, it's
and they get the one bit of information that they needed, and it's just like, I get that, and I'm also a little bit more frustrated with that part of it because we've had a couple of things that we've engaged with recently that have had the I'm too broken so I must commit suicide thing.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds really loved that. And this show keeps grappling with that too. That's like a major theme, is like the am I too broken to keep going, and they keep coming back around. I think after several
central to Dutch herself.
Yeah.
So her doing this for another person and not him refusing forgiveness of that and that act.
Yeah, he still sees her as the devil. He does not trust her for an iota. The like the character stuff for Dutch wasn't particularly as emotional this episode, because what it really is there to do is to make her question who she is. Is she this monster? Does she not know? Because Klein manipulates so much. He messes with memories.
He can mess with memories. So are those my memories of being a child? Are those my memories of the recent past or the distant past?
We're just going to ignore the possibility.
Not a possibility, not to me. You are not some crazy, ancient, psychopathic bitch. You have a childhood, and you have memories of it.
Klein plays with memories, you know that.
Here's what I know. You were born Yelena Yardin, you became Dutch, and you will find Anila.
The big reveal that we haven't said aloud is Klein is the father of Anila.
Or at least gets called father.
Gets called father by Anila, according to the monk. And so, why would he want Dutch, who looks exactly like his daughter, by the way, why would he train her to then kill his daughter? What is that? What is that all about? That's a question she asks.
Mm-hmm.
I would still be asking, what the fuck am I? Like, what is the, like,
You'd
what
get
is
stuck
this
on
deal?
that question, and that's fair.
Because she's like, okay, if I'm me, then I was like this child of this royal family that was abandoned, and then he found me, and all of that. Like, she still was on that train of thought. It's like, would you? I don't know. Like, there would be this thing I would ask of, like, is he my dad? A grandfather? Like, what's the deal? Like, what's the deal? We don't know, but these are all the big questions. But how did you take it, and the idea of Klein being the father of this woman that looks like Dutch from long ago, the devil?
I can see most of the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, but not how they fit together. And I don't want to start guessing at the picture, because that's not the fun part for me. The fun part is seeing how these things come together and then make a full picture, and how that's going to connect to the next big thing. because it feels like Killjoys is continuing to expand out and evolve in that way with the plots of each season. But if you pressed me a little bit more for an answer, I guess I would say that there is something that Klein needs for his plan that Anila would fulfill. / Dutch. And that's like a key piece that he needs to restore something, achieve something. And that's why he's crafted Dutch to be this person, to be this replica of his daughter.
But he also wants her to kill his daughter.
Yes. So there's something, but Anila is out of his control, is my current theory. So Anila needs to be stopped, and a Dutch is like the backup.
Oh, so Dutch is like the backup. Okay. So in your mind, is Anila like an actual person?
Yeah.
And is she the thing that he's doing all of these Machiavellian plans to protect the quad from?
No, my theory more was along the lines of he needs her to be a queen. And like she deserves to be, or needs to be, to like satisfy some kind of ritual or something, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, Anila?
Yeah.
But he also wants to kill her. Or have her killed.
Mm.
He doesn't want to kill... Well, the thing is, we don't know. Because he's always manipulating Dutch. In some way, this always comes back to that, is he has all of these justifications, but all the methods he goes about them are textbook abuse.
Yeah.
And Dutch is flabbergasted by the idea that not only does she look like his daughter, but he wants me to kill his daughter. But he claims like he is this, master of things, and that he's doing this for a bigger goal and a greater good. But we shall have to wait and see what all of that is. Rachel, it is time to hear the rating for Full Metal Monk. Yum being bad or Yum Yum being good?
It still comes out to a yum yum.
Yum yum.
It's it was more good than bad, but its problems stand out because of the high quality of other things. And because they're in together, it's a binary rating system.
No halves. No half yums.
That's where I end up. You?
Boy, I came into this episode a lot more positive. I guess the wall was on while I was watching it. But talking about it, those things that
really deflated me.
The things that hold it back do really hold it back. And there are a lot of the same, not exact same things, but a lot of similar things happened in Wild Wild Westerly, where it's like, oh, this could work, but then there are these big things that holds it back. This doesn't have such an aggressively huge thing that holds it back, but it does have a series of them. But the acting was great. The direction was wonderful. The music, as mentioned briefly, but should mention it again, was really a standout in this episode. It really complemented a lot of the scenes. So I'm conflicted. Season 2's had a lot of episodes where I feel conflicted about how I feel about them. But overall, I think I'm going to give this a yum.
Yum.
We are going to be talking about the penultimate episode of season 2, episode 9, called Johnny Be Good. And where we're left with, that could mean so many things.
Ooh, yeah.
So, Rachel, what do you think will be happening in the penultimate episode of season 2? Do you think Johnny's going to be good?
I think he's going to play guitar. That's my feeling. No, I think it's going to be Dutch trying to get into Old Town. Or at least trying to get in contact with somebody in there more. I think Alvis is going to have to go back with them to Old Town. I do think that they're done with Olin now. I feel like he's served his purpose, but
he didn't give us much of those memories. He just
he gave the map.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And that was a huge thing to help move that plot forward. I hope Johnny's still in his outfit.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about any of the bigger things at play? You're going to the immediate, like, how would they solve what happened? But, like, do you have any thoughts on anything else of that?
I want Klein. I want to check in on Klein and Fancy. I feel disconnected from them, which, makes sense and it has its purpose. But because last season, so much of the plots were about Klein and we got little sprinkles of him throughout the season.
We even had an episode called Enemy Klein. So we will have to wait and see what happens.
You already.
I already remember this.
Mm-hmm.
But we will have to wait and see.
Do you know how I could tell that?
About why?
I could tell that you remembered this episode from the gleeful way that you told me the title.
Oh, that's also because we're getting a funny title.
Oh,
with
yeah.
A character, but also because
the smirk that you had, I was just
it's
like
Johnny. It's about Johnny having the fact that Johnny's in a tough spot right now, and it's called Johnny Be Good is already amped up.
Dutch told him he was being a bad boy.
He's being a very bad boy. But everyone, you can be good people by following us on all of those social medias, supporting us on Patreon, leaving us a rating and review.
Give us a review. That costs you nothing.
Yeah. You can contact us through those social medias or our email address, which is
yumyumpod@gmail.com.
Share the podcast around. If you know people out there who are watching Killjoys for the first time or people who are fans of the show and would love to hear people discuss it in depth,
yes, you
head
can
on
give
over to Yum Yum Podcast.
A recommendation in person, or you can send them one of the lovely social media posts that Ryan does.
Oh, I
particularly enjoy the Instagram ones.
Thank
/
you.
TikTok ones.
Thank
I think
you.
more people should share them.
Yep, more people should like, share, subscribe, all of the usual plugs. But to finish this episode off,
yes,
I have a big question to ask you.
Mm.
So, you say it's the end for Olin, and that's the end of him.
I feel like Olin's gonna come back and die.
Oh, okay. So, I ask you this. Did he have a better haircut this time? Because last time we saw him, he had like a really awkward, dorky haircut, and it was a different style, or it was combed differently this episode. So, better or worse?
It was kind of better. Because I was like, that looks kind of stupid, but he's meant to be disheveled. What do you think?
Oh, it's much better.
Yeah.
That other haircut was...
It was bad.
I felt bad for the actor. I don't know why they did that to him.
They
the
did
hair
him dirty.
department. And I promised people on our YouTube and Patreon when we were watching this in the reaction, the monk that they found, that actor.
Oh, yeah.
He is exactly the guy I thought he
Death.
was. He's Death from Supernatural, but he was in Cube, and he was in the first episode of The Expanse as the guy that Miller threw into the airlock for selling like defunct bad product, bad air vent things.
Well done.
Yes, he is famous Canadian character actor guy. If you see a guy and he's got like a long weaselly like face, it's probably that guy. He's in a million things, so of course he was in this.